Welcome back to Magical Musings. I'm your host, Frater O.D, and today I want to talk about 4 simple things that you can take with you in your discipline, in your practice, that can dramatically change your life, specifically if you're involved with esoteric knowledge or the occult or magical praxis. Now look, if you've been searching through book after book after book for the secret to changing your life with magic, I'll bet you one thing, that you found yourself digging deeper and deeper and only ending up with more questions. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? More questions is normally a good thing. I love more questions. But what if I told you that everything you've been told, everything you've been reading, is potentially convoluted for a reason? And no, it's not some evil cabal with sinister aims. It's just people being people, including yourself. You see, even the spiritually awakened are not completely immune to trying to hoodwink you for a couple of extra bucks. And there's a reason for that. It's because people don't have authority over their own narrative. We're living out a theater. We're living out dreams that usually are programmed not by ourselves. Now, the cool thing about magic is it is designed to give us authority over our own narrative. And in this video, I'm going to give you 4 easy techniques that are going to help set you up for success in the magical path. And without these things, everything else in magic is only going to cause you issues, keep you locked in searching for the next quick fix from the next magic guru. The point is, the people who profit off your endless quest through the occult can't have you discovering how simple it truly is. Because if you do, you won't have to buy their latest book about conjuring spirits or their hot new course about the Greek magical papyri and ancient barbarous words. Now, I'm not making fun of it, of course. I love all that stuff, all the gadgets, the gizmos of magic. They're wonderful. They're wonderful things to explore, but they're not always good for helping us change our lives in a modern context. And so if you're feeling trapped, believing that external forces control your fate, or you have to summon up ancient spirits in order to fix your life, think again, okay? The spoiler is the real magic lies within you, and it's just waiting to come out. It's waiting to be unleashed by your personal pen. Okay, so here's the catch. Magic is awesome. It's a great thing, but it's a transformative journey, and it's about to be unveiled within you. It's brimming with potential, but you have to take some practical steps. You have to lay a foundation, or else none of this works. Without following these things, everything that comes next, all the cool gadgets, all the gizmos of the occult, they're just going to remain elusive. They're not going to help you. Now, if you're ready to uncover this untapped source of power that you need to actually affect change, I'm going to give you the secret right now. It's about authority. Yes, AUTHOR-ity, authority. It's about authorship. It's about rewriting your script. It's about rewriting your life. Magic is about changing things, but the first thing it seeks to change is not the world external to you or bringing wealth into your life. It's about changing you first and foremost, and it's about helping you remember what it is you're supposed to be in this world. Now let's look at this concept of authority or authorship. It means that you are meant to be the one writing the script, but you aren't right now. If you were, you wouldn't have clicked on this video. If you were, you wouldn't be living the life that you're living. If you were, you would have written yourself into a cooler script, right? It's maybe something more aligned with how you feel or what you desire out of life. But the problem is you're running on bad story programs. That's why you're here. It's like turning into old reruns from the 1980s that only play late at night or when everyone is out working and nobody gives a shit. You need new stories. You need to redefine what the tale of you is going to be. But the only way that you can do that is to begin by identifying what stories are from you and which stories you've accepted from other people, from your peers, your parents, and the society at large. You see, many of us go through life simply accepting things are the way that they are without even questioning it. Now, sometimes we question, but maybe it's not enough. More so, what's more important here is we accept what we are without question from other people. And this is how we end up feeling disempowered, out of sorts, or just plain disengaged with life, or even worse, on autopilot. Now, magic is a process by which we can reclaim the power of the pen. I call that personal empowerment narrative. This is so simple in concept that it's crazy, but it really does magical things for your life. So let's let's take a minute to define magic real quick, right? There's a bunch of magical definitions out there, but this is the one I like to use. Magic is a multifaceted discipline that encompasses the art of will, the science of transforming our consciousness, and the spiritual practice of effecting change. At its core, it combines the elements of will, of transforming consciousness, of energy manipulation, divine interaction, and most importantly, the power of belief that we can influence both the internal and external worlds. But before we can do all of that fancy wand waving and the spirit summoning that everybody talks about, if you don't reclaim your personal willpower first, if you don't rapidly reshape your internal narrative, everything else is going to fall dramatically flat. And the old saying, you've heard it, you can't build a house on a foundation made of sand. Why is that? Because that always falters when life gets stormy. And guess what? Life always gets stormy. Magic doesn't make us immune to life and happenings. What it does is it enhances our ability to show up in life and get things done with greater ease so that we can enjoy it while we're here. So what do we have to do in order to reshape this narrative? I'm going to give you 4 daily practices to help you reclaim your narrative, reserve your personal power for when you need to use it, and rewrite your life so that you have authority necessary to engage in all the other things that the magical path has to offer, like conjuring dreadful spirits. I'm just kidding, but you can if you want to. All right, number 1, practice verbal integrity and go through a process of mental purification, okay? Your words are power. Your thoughts are power. But your words are the most powerful tool in your arsenal, and often we fling them around carelessly. We expend energy on them, both emotionally, spiritually, physically. They will empower you or disempower you as you use them. So speak with integrity. What do I mean by integrity? Speak only what you mean. Avoid using the words to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. What a waste of power that is. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love, in the direction of aligning yourself with what your purpose is. Find out what that is, okay? Communicate when you do, sincerely and truthfully. Practice verbal integrity by ensuring that your words align with your true intentions and steer clear of harmful language toward yourself or others. I'm not perfect at this by any means, but it is something that I continuously work on day to day, and that's the nut of this entire thing. We have to practice this. This is the practice. This is the hard work, the discipline, the day-to-day stuff. When we use our expression, our words, to foster understanding, love, and compassion through honest and respectful communication, we build a new perspective. We build new experiences. We attract different happenings. We change our perspective. We change the world. So what's another thing you can do? Say less. Use your words less. Each morning, take a few moments silently to reflect on how you want to use your words through the day and set an intention to speak truthfully, kindly, and with purpose. If it isn't one of these 3 things, don't say it at all. Eventually, the thoughts that back these words, the things that start the wheel turning and then eventually vomit out, they start to wither because these things are linked, your thoughts and your words. So give yourself a morning intention, maybe even speak it if you need to speak something. Today, I will use my words to uplift and encourage myself and others. Boom. You've just set the tone for the day. This is something you can do daily to dramatically change your life. Okay. Number 2, become emotionally unfuckwithable. Don't take it personally. Nothing others do is because of you, and it often has very little to do with you at all. You just happen to be there. Okay? What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own current dream, their own current storyline that they're playing out. When you become immune to the opinions and actions of others, I mean truly immune, not caring and then acting like you do, but you feel like you do on the inside, genuinely understanding that somebody else's opinions are a reflection of their internal narrative and not something that has something to do with you. You don't have to accept their truth about what they're saying about you. You don't have to accept that. That's not part of your narrative. Part of this process is reclaiming your authority. So what other people say about you no longer has the authority to direct your internal narrative. When this happens, you won't be the victim of needless sufferings, right? So do some emotional check-ins through the day. When did you feel like you took something personally? That's a teaching moment in this. It's a way for you to look at things and say, okay, somebody said something and I allowed that to cloud my narrative for the day. Okay. When faced with criticism and negativity from others, take a pause, take a breath, a deep breath. Breathing is your friend at restructuring this narrative, at building a firm foundation. Taking a deep breath, remind yourself that the actions that they have are from their own insecurities, their own experiences, and it's not a reflection of what your internal narrative is. This will help keep a buffer and allow you to respond instead of react. When you respond, you've taken what they've said into consideration, you've thought about it, and now you can respond instead of react. React is with clause. Respond is measured. It's got composure. There's less emotional reactivity. Okay. Let's move on to number 3. Don't make an ass of yourself with assumptions. Find the courage to ask people questions, to express what you really want in life. Communicate with others as clearly as you can. See, it goes back to your word. Be as clear and concise as you can to avoid misunderstandings. Okay? Avoid the sadness and the drama by not assuming or giving expectations to happenings, to circumstance, or to other people. Learn to accept what is in that moment so that you can process and use your authority to craft from that point on what the narrative is going to be. We're not in control of everything, but what we are in control of is how we respond. And that is critical, especially within magic. Something is going to go wrong. Something is going to go sideways when you work on a ritual, you work on a spell, you work on just generally taking, control of your life. Something is going to happen that's not going to be in the favor of what you wanted, right? It's not going to be in favor of you. And you're going to have to be okay with that. But what magic teaches us is that we have the authority to change it after that. With just this one thing in your arsenal, you can completely transform your life because you're no longer a victim to circumstance. You are now able to flex with life. Life is always going to be stormy. Things are going to not go your way. But most people don't activate this part of their own life. They just take it, to be perfectly honest. And as magicians, witches, whatever you want to call yourself, just a general person who wants to use this to better their life, you don't have to. Okay? So build a habit of questioning and don't make those assumptions. Whenever you feel unsure, you're starting to make assumptions about a situation because that gives you some sort of security because you think you know somebody's motives. Start asking questions of that person or of that situation. Can you tell me more about what you meant by that statement? Can you help me understand your perspective? Maybe ask yourself, what is this event or happening telling me about me and how I'm responding? Okay. When we don't assume, when we don't have expectations, we are much less likely to feel let down. And when we're much less likely to feel let down, we're able to act. This is all about being able to act in the world, how we show up, how we behave in the world. And if we're constantly feeling disempowered, like we have no agency, like we have no authority to act in the world, then we're just acting on bad programming at that point. It's bad storytelling. The 4th thing, do your best no matter what. Just 1% better every day. This is not about trying to be the best in the world every day. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you're healthy as opposed to when you're sick. Under any circumstance, though, simply do your best. With this, you're going to avoid self-judgment. You're going to avoid the self-abuse, the self-negative talk, and all the regret. Okay? Your best is going to be different. It's going to be different. Some days you're going to kick it in the ass, and other days you're not. But if you can give yourself the compassion, the space to say, you know what, today I didn't get everything I wanted done, but I did do these things well, and I did them to the best of my abilities. And you know what, tomorrow I'm going to be better. Tomorrow, because of the situation, because I didn't overreact, because I didn't assume things about this, because I didn't speak about it negatively, because I I measured my emotional intelligence against it, and I didn't react. I responded the best that I could. I learned something about myself, and I learned something about my ability to rise to the occasion, to take that challenge and move with it and build something from it. One of the things that we can do with this is have an end-of-day review. Now, this can be in your head as you're going to sleep, or you can keep a journal. Goes back to the ancient practice of grimoires, of writing down your magical practice. Before going to bed, take a few minutes to reflect on your day. Acknowledge your efforts and recognize where you did your best, even the small things, especially those. If there were areas where you fell short, instead of self-criticism, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? This promotes self-compassion. It promotes growth. Okay? This is gratitude in its finest form. It's being able to literally write down part of our narrative for the day and say, you know what, today I was grateful. And you know what this is going to do for you the next day when you wake up and you're about to set that intention verbally, is you can look back at this and go, you know what, yesterday I did kick ass. And you know what, today I'm going to do even better. Okay? So what does this all do for us? What's the big secret? Well, the secret is that every single book, every single deck of tarot cards, every magical tool like wands and charms aren't going to do anything for you if you don't do these things first. They simply won't. Okay, I've tried. Trust me. And plenty of other people have tried, and I've seen them fail too. They won't work because you won't have developed the will or the internal personal power to deploy any of the mystical secrets that you uncover or learn, at least not with any real alacrity. In fact, you'll just be kind of blindly going out there without the appropriate authority, doing things for what? You won't have an alignment between your will and a divine will. You won't have any of the pieces of the puzzle that you need. You'll just be wasting your time. This is true time and time again, and it's proved out by thousands of eager young occultists, even our older ones. You know, we try rituals, we hit rock bottom, only to find out they didn't have the requisite beginner's work that's absolutely critical to your success. The most potent and powerful people in the world have figured out these 4 things, and they deploy them daily. Why? Because when you do these 4 things daily, you maintain and you protect your authority. You make sure that you're writing the script of your life. And yes, it's going to be hard. It's simple in concept, but it's absolutely imperative that you stick to this discipline daily, especially if you're going to be going down the magic path. There's so many things out there that will completely and utterly whoop your ass. Okay? The world of magic is fun. It's got a bunch of gizmos and rituals, and it's going to enliven your life as you take it on. But if you don't do these things first, it's all for naught. If anything, you'll find yourself further and further lost in the proverbial occult sauce, as I like to call it. But if you do these things, the entire world opens up for you, the mundane and the magical, and you find out they're kind of the same. And you can even further bolster your mundane efforts with all the wild magical elements you want to. And it'll make your world feel totally alive and wondrous. In fact, magic should enhance your general efforts in the world. That's what it's for. It's not going to replace the need to go to do the thing that you have to do today. You're not going to be able to magic the disposal back together. You have to do the work, but magic can make it easier. See, this life is spectacular, but it comes with a heavy price. It's a heavy dose of discipline and gritty hard work. It's perseverance that few of us seem willing to commit to. That's not you, is it? You can do this. Smash subscribe, comment on the video, share, do what you will. I'll be back with more in the coming days about magic, myth, and mysticism. I'm Frater O.D. Have a good one, guys.